Alberta's treatment within Canada has become intolerable. Successive federal governments in Ottawa have relentlessly attacked our province's economic interests, stifled our prosperity, and pillaged the resources and wealth of Alberta citizens to purchase electoral support in other parts of the country, as we just witnessed again in the most recent federal election. Albertans have tolerated the expropriation of our wealth for decades. However, the Ottawa anti-Alberta agenda has advanced a bridge too far in recent years, and now it poses an existential threat to our province's long-term economic viability. Alberta is under assault from our own nation's capital. There is no other way to describe what is happening. The provincial government needs to take action now, and my fellow co-authors and I are proposing a strategy for the provincial government to do just that. It's called the Free Alberta Strategy, and it calls upon the government of Alberta to implement several key initiatives and reforms without asking any permission from Ottawa to do so. The Premier could do these things today if he wanted to. He just has to go and do it. First and foremost, this is a strategy for Alberta to declare itself a sovereign jurisdiction within the country of Canada. It is not a call for separation, at least not yet. That would be premature in our view. However, it is a call for Alberta to exercise its rights of self-determination and provincial autonomy to the fullest extent possible while still remaining a part of Canada. The second pillar of the Free Alberta Strategy deals with ending federal equalization and other federal transfers from Alberta. We have transferred more than $600 billion in net equalization and federal transfers to other parts of the country over the last 60 years, most of that in the last 20 years. We need that money for the health of Albertans, for their education, budget balances, and economic competitiveness here at home, not for vote-buying schemes in Eastern Canada. This can be done, we propose, through the legislature passing into law the Equalization, Termination, and Tax Collection Act, which would establish an Alberta Revenue Agency to collect all provincial taxes and grant the provincial government authority to recover the total amount of equalization stolen by Ottawa from Alberta each year, among several other reforms.
Honestly, many in Alberta are greatly concerned about hostile interference, unfortunately, from the East. And as a parent, I'm greatly concerned about protecting our children from a looming fiscal train wreck. With the national debt exceeding over $1 trillion, with no fetters on spending, I'm just very concerned. And I think it's really important that we do make sure that we get our own houses in order, both individually, in our families, in our communities, and provincially, by becoming more self-reliant and better prepared.
This strategy includes many of the Fair Deal panel recommendations that our government has already endorsed. It's time to get moving on implementing these recommendations, as well as looking at the additional new ideas brought forward by this exciting strategy. That's why I support this initiative by Rob and the Alberta Institute, and I look forward to promoting this strategy in my community and in the legislature.
Some of these reforms will be declared by Ottawa to be unconstitutional. There is no doubt about it. You can take it to the bank. They will say that. They will find a way to frame it as unconstitutional. However, in our view, what's happened over the last several decades is that it is the federal government, as supported by the Supreme Court of Canada, that has passed unconstitutional law and decision after unconstitutional law and decision infringing upon Alberta's clearly defined jurisdictional rights under Section 91 and 92 of the Constitution. You know what happens if we don't do something? Nothing. And that's unacceptable. We can't just sit around and get pounded to dust here, which is what's happening. We can't just sit here and watch our energy producers and egg producers just get the crap beat out of them over and over and over again and not do a single bloody thing about it. I think sometimes what we do as Canadians is because we like to play nice in the sandbox, is we think that sometimes when it gets in the corners and things get a little bit rough, we kind of back up and say, ooh, but is that against the rules? It might be against the rules, but the rules are rigged. They're rigged, and they're rigged against our province, and they're destroying our economy piece by piece. We're going to be a shadow of our former self. We already are to some extent. We have to push back, and if that means putting the elbows up in the corner a little bit and playing not so nice sometimes, then we got to do that. We've got to stick up for ourselves, and the Free Alberta Strategy provides for that.